It was a typical Friday evening, the kind that slips by quietly, leaving little trace in memory. I had organized a small gathering at our home. Nothing fancy, just a handful of colleagues from work, some soft music playing low enough to carry on a conversation, and a modest spread of charcuterie and wine. For once, I was trying to blend two parts of my life that I usually kept separate, my professional world and my personal one. Elena, my wife, had teased me often about how I guarded my work life like a locked room she never held the key to. That night, I dared to believe it might be different. We spent the afternoon preparing together. She moved with her usual effortless grace, lighting candles and humming softly as I adjusted the lighting and arranged platters. By the time the guests arrived, the house glowed with warmth. Elena looked stunning, wearing a deep emerald dress that hugged her figure just right, her long auburn hair cascading over one shoulder, and those sleek black heels that gave her an elegant, commanding presence. She had a way of owning a room, confident and untouchable. I used to admire that about her. I thought she was dressing up to support me that evening, never realizing she was preparing to eclipse me. The night began smoothly. Light banter, casual jokes, the usual office gossip about impossible clients and weekend plans. People laughed, topped up their glasses, and nibbled on aged cheddar and prosciutto. Elena sat a few feet away, her laughter melodic and easy, a glass of red wine in hand, eyes flicking around the room with amusement. Then it happened, just past 10, when the warmth of wine loosened tongues and lowered guards. Ethan, a colleague known for his offhand jabs, cracked a joke. Funny how some guys get those lifted trucks or sports cars like they're trying to prove something, he said with a smirk. You know, compensate for other shortcomings. He made a vague gesture with his hands. Light laughter followed, dismissive, casual. Just a throwaway line meant to fill space without landing on anyone in particular. Except this time, Elena spoke. She leaned forward, swirling her wine slowly, and said with clear, unmistakable mockery, "Oh, trust me, I married the poster boy for that theory." The room fell silent. Eyes flicked from her to me, then quickly darted away, seeking refuge in wine glasses, the floor, anywhere but the sudden crackling tension. I sat frozen, stunned, her words sliced through the air like a knife, cold, deliberate, public. I felt my stomach knot, my chest tighten, my face drained of color. I didn't know how to respond. Should I laugh it off, confront her, or disappear? Instead, I muttered something about needing fresh air and slipped out onto the balcony. The night air was cool, the breeze sharp against my skin, but it did nothing to numb the sting of humiliation. The moment replayed in my mind again and again, twisting deeper and deeper. "It's just a joke," she'd said. But it wasn't. Not to me. Minutes passed. 30, maybe. She didn't come out to check on me. Didn't say a word. The music inside drifted through the open door again. Someone cranked the volume, trying to fill the silence, but the laughter was forced and awkward. When I finally re-entered, the room was unchanged. No one spoke to me. No one spoke to her. She stood by the kitchen counter, calmly refilling her glass as if nothing had happened. Her expression was unreadable, unfazed, like that cruel jab had been nothing more than playful teasing between friends. Later, in the quiet of our bedroom, I turned toward her, voice barely above a whisper. "Why would you say something like that?" She shrugged, a flicker of irritation in her eyes. "It was a joke, Marcus. Relax. You're always so touchy." No one took it seriously. But I had. What she didn't understand, or refused to, was how deeply those words cut. I'd carried insecurity for years, buried beneath layers of self-control and silence. Society whispers in 1,000 subtle ways that a man isn't enough. Not tall enough, strong enough, successful enough, masculine enough. And the one person who knew my softest vulnerabilities, the one person I believed would shield them, chose that night to turn them into a public punchline. She didn't stumble. She didn't slur. She knew exactly what she was doing. I didn't yell, didn't cry, didn't slam doors or break dishes. I lay there, eyes fixed on the ceiling, feeling the slow erosion of love crystallize into one final, brutal moment. What she didn't know was that I had already packed a duffel bag, hidden in the guest closet 2 days earlier, not because I planned to leave, but because I had started to wonder if I should. That night gave me my answer. Before dawn broke, I rose quietly, gathered my bag, wallet, and keys, and left my phone face down on the kitchen counter. No message, no note, just absence. I drove 5 hours to a lakeside cabin that once belonged to my father, a remote refuge untouched by cell signal or noise, surrounded only by trees, water, and silence. The first day, I sat at the edge of the dock, listening to the wind. I didn't drown my anger in whiskey or break down in tears. I simply sat with the pain, raw, honest, and sharp. By the second day, I knew Elena was searching for me. My sister called, then Ethan. She had posted frantic messages online, as if she were the one abandoned, as if she had been wronged. On the third day, she found me. Her silver car pulled up the gravel drive, and she stumbled out before it had even stopped, tears streaking her face. "Marcus," she sobbed, "I thought you'd left me for good." I looked at her, really looked, and said quietly, "I haven't left. I'm just finished." She collapsed beside me on the cabin steps, crying and apologizing. She claimed the wine had clouded her judgment, that she hadn't meant to hurt me, that she thought I could take a joke. That's when I said the words that shifted everything. You don't get to decide how much it hurts when you're the one holding the knife. She talked for hours. I listened. She wept, begged, promised. But forgiveness didn't come that day. Maybe it never would. A week later, I returned to the city, but not to our home. While she slept one afternoon, I moved into a small basement apartment I had quietly leased a month before, hoping I'd never need it. We haven't filed for divorce. Not yet. We still speak. She started therapy and writes me long handwritten letters, trying to own the damage she caused. But I told her the truth. Some scars don't fade with time, and not all apologies lead back to love. Sometimes love doesn't end with fireworks or betrayals or shouting matches. Sometimes it dies quietly, slowly chipped away by 1,000 tiny cuts, until one night, one sentence carves the final wound. That night, when she laughed at my expense in front of everyone, I knew that was the last cut, and I was done bleeding.